Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chilling Neigh Podcast, your premier VGC podcast. And we are live from Yokohama, Japan in the 2023 World Championships. My name is Rashil, aka Conkodonk VGC, and I'm here with my co hosts, Tommy Hayden and Sableye VGC. Say hi, guys.
What if I don't want to say hi?
I am so happy to be here. This is so exciting. I love that we're doing this in person now too.
This is awesome. This
Yeah.
is, this is awesome. This is awesome. So we just got out of watching the World's Finals between Shohei and Michael. Japan getting the clean sweep out of the three finals for VGC juniors, seniors, and masters. We're going to focus on the masters today, but what were your guys' initial thoughts on the finals?
Overall dominant performance by Japan in every division, every age group. In day two and day one, I thought Japan showed up and showed out this tournament, and it was really impressive to see them defend their home turf the way they did. I can't say that enough.
Yeah, no, it really is incredible. Like they just showed up and they just, said it's our event to win and we're just gonna win it. It was, we talk about this in the community, right? Like when we have the Canadian regionals, it's will a Canadian defend the turf? Japan definitely defended their turf.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, there's just so much to go through here, and unfortunately, we have to do a shorter episode today. But I mean, let's just go through the teams here. I mean, we talked a little bit about this where we might see a struggle for balance, but that just wasn't the case with Shohei bringing Flutter, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Qianpao, Iron Hands, Lando, and Amoongus against Michael's kind of unconventional team that he did used to win a Nino Tour actually recently, but Farigiraf, one of only very few in this tournament, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Dragapult, Qianpao, Heatran, and Rillaboom. So what were you guys' thoughts on the teams and kind of the matchup?
Uh, I'll jump in here. I think Shohei Balance is probably one of the more consistent balance teams right now in the format. It's just something like it's not like your traditional balance, right? Where you're going to be able to switch in and you're going to have all these pivots and you're just going to eat everything. You have the pieces of that with like the intimidate and the hands and the Amoongus, but you also have a way to put the pressure on. You've got that Shampoo, you've got that Urshifu, and it's stuff like that that really makes the balance go in this format. More of an aggressive variant of the balance, and finding the balance of how much balance and how much offense is probably the key. And I think Shohei probably picked up on that. Very obviously picked up on that, but definitely a really well built team. I quite enjoy it as a balance player myself.
Yeah, no, it was really cool to see. It's like I agree. I think like I would classify it as balance slash bulky offense, and I mean we saw a similar team that even in the top four we saw Japan mirror using the same exact teams, and it seems like this is kind of the comp that was going around in Japan. And I mean we're looking at these mons like Qianpao with Qianpao and Iron Hands Urshifu, you can put on the pressure really quickly, and Landorus. We got four physical mons here that really take advantage of that Qianpao ability, and he was able to really put the pressure on. And then the Terrawater Amoongus really gave Michael some problems in those finals and was really able to kind of clean that game up for him. I mean, he put two Mons to sleep in game two, and Michael just wasn't really able to deal with that. And so, I mean, Amoongus we know is probably one of the two best VGC Mons of all time, with Incineroar. And I mean, we see that's coming back soon. More on that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think just a really well-built comp, and they didn't go out of their comfort zone. They really stuck with something that I think they knew, and they, we saw like all these are really good Mons, and Mons have been dominating the format for the entire series. This is the only Reg D Mon specific is Urshifu, right? Or Lando too. But the rest were all Mons that we've seen do well throughout the year, and they kind of just adapted those balance teams to Regulation D, and clearly it was an incredible call.
The Amoongus shined. I love Amoongus. I can't say enough good things about the design of that Pokemon, but competitively, it's overpowered, it feels like. It won. This is its third Worlds win now. It won in 2013, it won in 2015, it won today. And seeing it dominate every format it's been in, seeing good players like Sohaib and Justin Burns just slap it on a defensive pivot. Sohaib said he's addicted to Amoongus. I was like, it just makes sense that these good players see the value in it. And to see Shohei pilot it and just disrupt Michael's game plan the way he did with it shows why it's as strong as it is in every format it's allowed in. And it's just incredible to see with Terra now being able to get out of its weaknesses too. This thing's a monster. I absolutely love it. And yeah, there's a reason I made it my mascot as the Amoongus Bus. I love that thing, man. I wish I was better at piloting it. It does take some skill to pilot it, and it does take some skill to really know how to use it well, position well, when to heal your mons, when to put stuff to sleep, like which moveset you want with the Leaf Storm variant going around now, Clear Smog or Protect for the Dozos. But there is a reason this Mon is as dominant as it is. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about Amoonguss. Did you guys see this tweet, by the way? It shows, so this is the third win for Amoonguss. This is the second win for Lando. And then Urshifu, Fluttermane, Chen Pao, and Iron Hands all had their first win today. I thought that was very interesting to see that Amoonguss now climbs into that 3-time world champion tier. And yeah, I'd love to hear more on that. Like, yeah, like, do you guys? It's not shocking at all.
No, I'm honestly surprised that it's only 3 at this point. Like, it's just such a sleep is such a crazy status condition in Pokemon. It's just so strong, and Amoonguss being able to go for like essentially a follow me with Rage Powder and with Terra Water, it's just so hard to remove. I mean, absolute great mon, obviously. And I also want to kind of pivot a little bit to Michael's team, and obviously, had such a great run, and a little bit about Michael. He climbed through day 1. He just started playing VGC in December.
8 months ago.
And
I did not know this about him. He is a Rand Bat champion.
Yeah.
I heard
Yes.
he is the Rand Bat. I didn't know that.
He is amazing at singles as well.
he's a fantastic singles player, and pivoted to VGC. Got his invite after crushing it in the European regionals, and then brought this really unique team that he'd been piloting for a few months as Regulation D was announced with Faridref, a mon that no one was really using, and he did great with it. What are you guys' thoughts on the team?
I'll start. You know what? I guess I got to sign the Farigarath apology form.
Same here.
Last episode I was kind of bashing it. I did say it was probably still a good mod.
Yep.
But I definitely never expected it to get second at Worlds. Obviously,
Yep.
Michael, incredible player, piloted it very well. And I think you saw some of its struggles, though. And like Shohei really exploited that in the finals,
Absolutely.
where he was saying basically, hey, Michael, you have to have your Shenpao and your Dragon Ball on the field to really get that big damage out onto me. But I'm not going to let you do that by forcing your Farigarath onto the field. And then forced the Farigarath onto the field, played that slower game, put things to sleep, and just really just dominated the board position. Right? That's how you do it. That's how you use Amoonguss. That's why, as we were saying earlier, it's won 3 championships or 3 world championships. Right?
Incredible.
But once again, no discredit to Michael's team. It was absolutely insane. Obviously, it had the immediate offense, but the Farigarath, you could slow things down if you wanted to. I don't know if he had Imprison to stop Trick
he
Room.
did have Imprison.
Okay, but once again, just a really well-built team. I think it was really, really cool. But once again, Shohei just really exploited hey, you need to have Farigarath to not die to a Sucker Punch.
Yep.
So now I'm just going to slow the game right down on you. Can you keep up?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I have to apologize. I said it was overrated. I called it a band-aid, and it wasn't something that was used a lot, but in the hands of an incredible player like Michael, it was giving people problems. We saw it in the top 4 set, actually. It wasn't streamed, unfortunately, but it was against Fedi Campo, and the Farigarath just pretty much solo handled Fedi Campo's team, and couldn't get Trick Room up. He couldn't get any priority going. It was just a really big nuisance, and that's kind of what it's there for. And, just an overall great team. So I think...
Can I shout out Tub Takes for streaming that live for everyone that couldn't see it in the venue, because I didn't know they weren't streaming the second game until I saw Tub go live. I was like, why is Tub going live? Yeah. And then they were like, they're streaming the second top 4 game. I said, what? And I ran over to the other screen.
I'm actually really surprised they got permission for that.
Oh, yeah. No, they didn't. They just did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Adi was doing commentary, so they just were like, wait, this isn't being streamed to the public. Let's do this service for the community. And I can't
huge.
say thank you enough for that, because I had no idea that wasn't going to be streamed until then. And I would have missed that incredible set that I had so much fun watching if it wasn't for that.
No, kind of nuts that Michael's first time on stream all weekend was finals. That's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Service to him.
Well, even look at Luca. He went 7-0
Yeah.
in day 2, and I think he played day 1 too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
He went through day 1 at the top tables, went 7-0 in day 2, and just sadly never got on stream. It's ridiculous.
Those are the storylines that I like to follow as a viewer, that they didn't let us follow this tournament, which was very disappointing to me. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of positives. I don't want it to sound like I'm all negative, and I don't want to be toxic Tommy over here. I was very disappointed in a lot of their decision making in this tournament, and not showing those 2 incredible players doing incredible in their runs and letting the fans follow along was a disservice to both the fans and the players in the tournament.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. And All right, guys, I'm gonna pivot us to talking a little bit about our own experiences. We were all competitors
Oh,
at
not like
Worlds.
not like this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk a little bit, and I think Toby and I have a little bit of a funny story to start off with. So I'll let you. I mean, we faced each other
Yeah, did we play?
round one, so let's talk a little bit about that. But I'll let you talk about your run first, and we can kind of talk about that as well.
Bro, when I pulled up the pairings, I was so excited and nervous, and I saw your name, and I just started cackling. I was just like an evil laugh. I was like, "This is the most ridiculous outcome that could have happened." What are the chances? 1 in 357, I think, or 257.
Roughly,
Yeah, well, yeah. So,
Yeah.
that sucks. That just sucks immediately to see a
Mhm.
friend, and then like I was so in my head during our set. I didn't tell you this part yet, so I'll tell you this part now live. So I want to hear your reaction.
Okay.
But there was a game two when it was believe I said
First,
Trick Room.
first, so okay, what team were you using? And
Oh, I was using my NAIC 6, which I did really well with because I wanted to do comfort. I said, I'm not the best team builder in the early formats. Every early format regional, I have not performed to my liking. I have not liked the teams after I've looked back at them. And I said, so how am I going to avoid that this time? What am I going to do different to not have that feeling like I did in Regulation B and I did in Regulation C? So what I did was I revised my NAIC team and I brought
what was the six?
Hariyama, Hatterene, Rangaroo, Torkoal, Indeedee, and Armrage. And I really like those mods. I'm actually gonna frame my playmat, like the playmat, the TCG mat that comes in the thing, and get Pokemon cards of those 6 mods, and try to get it framed at Michael's Craft Store because like they really have a special place in my heart after NAIC in this tournament. And those are the mods I chose to represent me because I felt the most comfortable with them. I updated my move sets, my EVs, my IVs. I had weird IVs. I had like 20 IVs on my Torkoal because I wanted to outspeed my Hatterene so I could skill swap Heat Rans and stuff. Shout out Matt Tid for that one. Actually used his exact NAIC Torkoal.
Okay.
So that was really cool. And yeah, no, I can't. I had so much fun prepping for this format, even though I didn't see any of the stuff I prepped for really. Like, I
Yeah.
barely saw any of the standard stuff that I was like thinking. I prepped a lot into that Eric Rios Goldango team. I prepped a lot
I
into
played that.
Oh, you did play that? Okay, so yeah, I was ready for that one. I was ready for some more of the Chiyu Flutter balance stuff too, because I figured there would be some Reg C teams that made it through. I prepped for Roaring Moon because that gave me issues with Trick Room too. I didn't like seeing Roaring Moon, so I was like, I need to set Hatterene up well. I need to like
Yeah.
figure these lines out. And I just had problem Pokemon. I actually made my Indeedee super fast. I wanted a 28 IV speed Indeedee so I could underspeed every Rillaboom with 31 IVs and no investment, but still outspeed most Farigirafs if they had 188 speed EVs is what they would have needed to imprison before my imprison. So I was imprisoning the Farigirafs before they could do that and then set Trick Room with the partner.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. Like I was so like detail oriented in my prep and it just I got gamed on so hard. I got so my 2 wins were pretty dominant, which felt really good. But my 5 losses were like, I feel like I'm being outclassed. Like, and that was not the best feeling, but it really gave me a clear understanding of where I'm at as a player. Of like, at the highest level, I'm not where I need to be, but I'm just proud to be sitting there and I've earned a spot. But I'm very excited to hear your perspective on our game too, because I was so in my head. Again, I want to get into that game too.
Yeah,
if there's
so
anything you wanna
I'll
say first,
yeah, first I'll say what team I was running, and I've kind of published this team on Twitter,
It is
but
so cool.
it's
so unique too. Like I love the way you piloted it. I can't wait to watch the YouTube videos of other people using it now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited for.
There's
now.
already one.
Yeah, there's already one, and I know there's a second one coming. But
I'll be a third.
I kind of want to do it on my stream too.
yeah, no, I encourage everyone to use it. I think it's a super fun team. I actually used it to hit rank 1 on the Showdown ladder a couple days ago, and had a couple accounts at top 30. It's a really strong team, and I wish I could have done a little bit more justice. But yeah, I went 4-3, and yeah, and so the 6 mons that I had were Mousehold, Technician Mousehold with Pop Bomb, which was really cool because I think people weren't prepared for their Population Bomb calcs, and it would just nuke stuff. And so I think that was a really cool mon. And then I had Bruxish with Dazzling, so kind of a similar concept as for draft, but and I actually did try the draft. Yeah, I actually did try the draft for a bit, but I actually called it overrated because I didn't love using it, and so I found something that I had a similar niche, but I could use a little bit better, and so I used weakness policy Torkoal next to Bruxish, so I could go for self Aquajet into Terrifier, weakness policy Eruption, and just delete stuff, and so that was a lot of fun. And then Life Orb, Dark, Urshifu, min speed, and so it underspeed Heat Trans and stuff like that. You could just go for Life Orb, Wicked Blow, and just delete mons. kind of crazy calc is Life Orb, Terra Dark, Urshifu with Helping Hand Crest just deletes every Terra Fairy Flutterbane. Doesn't matter if it Terra Fairies, it still resists and it still just dies. So I had that, and then I had Cress and Ursaluna to round out the team. So super fun team, and we kind of had a Trick Room mirror in our round one. So yeah, I was not happy to see Tommy first round because you never want to play your friend, especially in Swiss, just because someone's walking away with a loss, and it's just not fun.
I was so
Yeah.
relieved it was round
Yeah,
I don't like round one at all. If I'm gonna play a friend, it's I think the only time that it's acceptable. It still stings. It stings super super much, but like I think winning in is better.
That's
oof, yeah. See,
you and your
Right.
friend can't win.
You
So
right,
tell me,
but
I
at
want to hear more about this.
the upside and
it's
why I think
someone's
there's an
win.
upside is
Yeah,
one of you is in,
yeah,
Okay.
right?
yeah.
It's like yeah, okay, you get it out of the way round one. You can still do something, right? It's like it's defeating and it's uplifting at the same time. Like when you play at round one, it's like it's whatever. You know what? You guys still got rest of your tournament ahead of you, but when you play in that winning in, it's like very polarizing. You know, it's like someone's gonna be incredibly happy and someone's gonna be incredibly sad. But like at least there's that massive upside. You know, it's
That's
not
fair.
you're not beating each other up for no real reason.
Yeah.
You know, so to speak,
No, that's
right?
fair.
Like
That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
a really cool
Well,
mentality I never thought of before.
I definitely had the round one jitters when we were playing. Like I wasn't.
You said that too,
Yeah, and
multiple
like
times during
I
the
could
game.
tell like I started to relax more as the day went on, and round two, round three, I could feel myself calming down. But there was a part of me where I was like, okay, I was a little nervous about who my round one matchup would be, whether just because everyone here is so strong, and seeing a friend who's also just a very strong player, I was like, that's a little scary, but at the same time, it was a fun set to play, and I had a lot of fun playing it. But I want to hear your take on it.
Dude, so like game one, I think you just outpositioned me towards the end of Trick Room and just got I forget exactly how it ended, but game two, this is sticking out of my head so much. There was a turn where I knew I was like just messed up and in my own head, and I was like, oh God, this is not where I want to be. When I was like, I think he needs to protect. I think he knows he needs to protect. If he knows I know he needs to protect, is he gonna attack me because he knows I know he need? And I was just going in circles, and I was debating expanding force into your partner or attacking the Urshifu because that was a major threat to me. And I ended up attacking the Urshifu, calling that you were gonna attack, thinking that okay, this is the most obvious protect in the world. He knows that, I know that this protect is just a safer play. I did not think you were going to go for the safer play, and the safer play is what like really helped you take momentum and win that game too after dominating game one, I felt. And it was really interesting to see. But like once I was in my own head like that, I took a step back and was like, all right, let me reset. If I can't play around. Like I know what the safe play is. I can't be in my head like that. I can't be trying to make hard reads, especially, and I know you know me, so that
Yeah.
factored into me wanting to make more hard reads, I think, too.
Right.
And one thing I said last week was I wanted to play all international players, no Americans. After you, I played all international players, and I was happy about that until they just started gaming on me and kicking my ass. Like I lost to two Japanese players. I beat a French player and a Filipino player, and I don't want to insult the Filipino scene, but my game versus a Filipino player, I don't think was very competitive. And I asked Chuppa actually after this, like, said I saw him in the bathroom. So we were in the bathroom line, me and Chuppa, and I had asked him. I said, "What's a competitive scene like in the Philippines?" And he said it's not that competitive. And I said, "I think that makes sense. The way I was able to dominate at like a world's table, it really got my confidence up." And then the next game was a solo dozo that hit Yawn 7 out of 8 turns in game one and 6 out of 8 turns in game two. And he just stalled out of Trick Room. I couldn't pivot or like he just. And then at one point I was like, I think he switches dozo out. And you know what? Let me taunt this bot just because like I think he's gonna switch out. I was trying to make a hard read again, and it just did not work out. And this Japanese player gamed on me so hard with solo dozo right before lunch so I went into lunch 1 and 2, and I came out. I was like, I'm gonna ruin everyone else's day. I'm just gonna knock people out of the tournament from here on out, and proceeded to get eliminated by the seniors 2019 runner-up Lewis Tan, who gamed on me too. And it was just like, all right, 1 and 3, let's try to win some games from here. I ended up ending 2 and 5. I'm so incredibly proud I got those 2 wins, but the level of competition here is unlike anything I've seen before.
I'm gonna cycle just you off of that and just level of competition into my run here. It was I started had a
Can
bad
you tell
start.
us about your team too? Because you haven't said your team yet.
First,
We'll
first do
keep
this.
this.
Yeah,
We'll keep
first,
this.
yeah.
And I was at the 1 and 2 tables, so I didn't have the best start to the tournament. But I was at the 1 and 2 tables, and my opponent, first of all, my opponent there was Francesco Pardini, incredible player, been around for forever. And beside him at the table next to us was Aaron Trailer, also phenomenal player. Now, hey guys, guess what? Guess what? Who was beside Aaron Trailer?
Who was beside him?
Wolf Glick.
Oh my God.
It gets better. Hold up. It gets better. It gets better. 2 tables down. Last year's world champion Edu,
Oh my
and we were
God.
all sitting there at the 1-2 tables. I had to do a double take. I was what?
I think Tang was 1-2 as well.
Right. It's just what? Where am I right now? Am I? That just shows you how strong the competition was at this championships.
It's crazy.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
It was insane, and I'll talk a little bit about my run, and then I'll throw it over to you. But yeah, I finished 4-3, which was a little bit heartbreaking because so I came into Worlds, not even knowing kind of this is my first season. I just didn't know where I was kind of in the world where I was, was I a top level player? Was I, gonna scrub out at 03? I had no idea, and so I was just kind of trying to come in and see, okay, can I just get one set? Can I get two sets? How well can I do? And I started, yeah, I started 3-0, 6-0 in games, and I was thinking, wow, okay, can I do this? Can I do this? And then I fell to 3-2, and I was feeling okay. This is getting a little scary, and got to 4-2, and had my winning in at 4-2, and unfortunately in a one game one, and I was feeling pretty good, and unfortunately kind of threw away my season on a couple bad plays. I even started game 3 really hot, and just kind of let it slip through my fingers. So was a little bit heartbreaking, but I think walking away, I realized that I had a very real shot at day 2, and kind of was very proud of how I did and the team that I brought. And I think that going into 2024, I'm very hungry for more success, and knowing that I can be one of those top players. So I was really proud of how I did, even though it's just my first Worlds, but very very excited for next season.
You really should be so proud of yourself. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I guess I got to do my run now, eh? You guys are gonna make me talk about it.
Well, let's hear about your team a little bit first.
Okay, so I actually ran similar, interestingly enough, 4 out of 6 of the championship team, which is interesting. So I had Deflutter, Shenpao, Urshifu Water, and Landorus. And then I had Zapdos, Rillaboom instead of Iron Hands Amoonguss. But yeah, it was kind of similar stuff. I went a little bit more on the offensive mode
Yeah.
as opposed to like show how I was saying like the balanced offense,
Right.
stuff like that. I went a little bit more offensive. Team was solid. No, wouldn't change a thing if I brought the team. In fact, one of my team building partners, Jeremy, went 5-0. Shout out to Zanzibar, 5-0 day one, right through. So like the team was not the problem, right? It was, I don't know, it was my round 2 that was really pivotal for me, and I just kind of choked it. Like obviously my opponent played an incredible game 1, and I choked game 2. I think I made the right adjustment. I had it. It was guaranteed if I just make the right play. Did not. Obviously that still brings up a game 3, but the big thing I wanted to, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is you cannot choke a game on the world stage. You know, maybe at a regional, I can player difference my way a little bit more to make up for that. Right. But like at Worlds, that doesn't happen. I'm allowed to lose twice on day 1. And that gives me one game where I can lose to just getting unlucky because it is Pokemon. And that gives me another game I can either lose to if I'm that unlucky, or just a Pokemon, or just a team that I'm not really expecting, or a team that just kind of beats my team. And one of each of those happened, but it's the choke that ended my run.
Yep.
Even though it was only round 2, that run, and I don't want to say the run ended after round 2, but like when you look back at it, that's really the pivotal spot.
And your mental state isn't the same after those battles.
No,
Your mental
it's-
state isn't the same after you think that way. You're like, I choked this. They didn't win it, but it's hard to come back from that. It's a very tilting mentality sometimes. So keep your head up because that's not easy.
2-3 at both the worlds I've attended. Let's go.
But I mean, obviously, Sableye, one of the best players in the world, and it's. I mean, we were just talking, like we were just saying, there are so many people that we know are some of the best players in the world that just didn't have the best days at Worlds, and it's like another tournament, right? You can have a bad day, and I mean, traveling from across the world to a different country, like I was saying, I came in the day before the tournament, and I could feel the jet lag starting to hit me, and that's not an excuse, but at the same time, it just makes it a little bit harder, right? And so, it's hard to have a great day at Worlds, and the people that did. I mean, some of the let's talk about some of the crazy runs that happened. I mean, first of all, we have to talk about Sempra. I mean, that was just
Canada,
oh my god.
Canada.
So let's and that kind of brings us to our prediction reviews as well. Sableye on point with a Canadian in top 16, actually in top 8. First season, he goes to a regional, wins his locals, and then comes to Worlds and 5-0 through day 1, 5-0 through day 2, and then into cut and was 5-0 into 5-2
Yeah,
and then ended up going through the round of top 32, top 16 into top 8. Just an incredible run.
No, it's absolutely unbelievable. And in fact, just a little point of information here. Worlds was the first live tournament that Abdullah attended
That he lost.
that he did not win.
Yeah,
Insane.
that's an insane stat.
It's-
That
it-
really is an insane stat.
What?
Like, it's insane.
And to not win, still top 8 at Worlds. Like, it's not even like, oh, he like scrubbed up.
Right.
It's not even like, you know, it's just incredible run. Some other notable runs. I mean, Fede Campo getting to top 4, incredible Italian player, just absolutely insane run. We had so many Japanese players in top cut. I think they had 10 Japanese players in
Yeah.
out of the 26.
I
in
think
top
it was
cut.
something
I
like
want to
that.
shout out my friend Anthony Luisi. He's a French player that I met in the London Open last year, and he made day 2 from day 1, and then he went well in day 2 to make top cut, and I was
Is-
so proud to see him too.
Is he the person that jumped the chains when he won his win in it?
I believe so.
That's insane. I remember
he's the
standing there on
curly
the
hair, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it might have been him. I
His
could be wrong.
name's Glumboy on Twitter.
I'm
He's
wrong,
awesome.
If I'm wrong, my bad. But I know someone
I
that was
think he
that was one
was.
of the most hype like
Yeah.
pop offs to
That's
see.
awesome. That's
Like,
awesome.
Incredible French player, an incredible person too. So like I was so happy for him to see him do well. And again, shout out Neil. Like Neil did
Oh,
awesome.
Absolutely. Neil, I mean, we thought we were going to have 2 in top 16 almost, but 2 in top 32, 2 Canadians. I mean, like, just incredible run by Neil. Fantastic.
Can I actually shout out? Sempra's team building group. I helped 2 of them get the team for the tournament, which was really cool. And when my Discord community saw Sempra on stream, they were like, "Tom, did we give the mods to Sempra?" And they were freaking out. It brought my little community so much like closer for everyone that helped me. Everyone that helped me was freaking out and thanking me, and they felt like they were part of Sempra's run, which was incredible to see too. Because I was like, no, it wasn't for his team. It was for his team building partners. But like, yeah, it's the same team, and they're like, what? Oh my god! And it was just really cool. So I wanted to shout out everyone that helped me in my Discord getting the mods for my friends, because like everyone that reached out, it was so cool to see. I didn't anticipate that at all, but like Sempra's team building group is so cool, and like that team going, like it was just so cool to see how like the people who were able to help me like felt involved because Sempra was doing so well too, and it like helped bring my little community get together more. And Sempra doesn't even realize that. So if he listens to this, like just know like thank you for that, because everyone in my Discord was rooting insanely hard for you after that too. Once like they realized, wait, that's the same team Tom sent me 2 days ago. And it's really cool to see.
That's insane. I have a few shout outs if
Of
I
course,
can
of
jump
course.
in here. The first one I want to do is Luca. I'm not going to try and pronounce the last name. I am the fakest Italian out there.
I'm not. Wait, let me see it.
I don't have a plan.
Yeah.
But no, just an absolutely insane killer run through day 1. I touched upon it earlier. Killer run through day 1. Killer, absolutely insane run on day 2. And it's just a shame he never got on stream. But this is performances like that, right? That
incredible,
you just
yeah.
don't hear.
That's something the fans would have loved to follow along with.
Something else I want to point out that once again a really cool story is Patrick Donegan, New York player.
Oh, yeah.
I love P-Dons. Oh my god.
Right, it's just one of those ones that it's nice to see, right? Patrick's been playing this game longer than I've actually been playing VGC.
Yeah.
So it's insane, right? Like when I came into the community, Patrick was here, and he's pretty much said he's probably wrapping up. So he kind of said,
Yeah.
"I'm gonna bring my favorite Pokemon,
Articuno.
Articuno, to this World Championships and just see what happens." And he actually managed to make day 2.
After
It's-
our last podcast, he reached out and he had Pincurchin in his team builder. He was the one that had Pincurchin in his team builder, and I'm glad he went with the Articuno route. But like, Patrick has been such a pillar for me growing in this. Like, he invited me to be a support on the USPA team New York when I was first starting and had no business being there. And then actually I felt real bad for him because at locals he gets very stressed out, and sometimes his behavior is just like you could tell he's very, very stressed out, and it just shows how much he cares. Like he gets very upset when he loses. He gets very upset when stuff doesn't go his way. So to see him do well here, I was so proud and happy for him. It was incredible. Like I'm actually tearing up thinking about like how cool that is for him.
It's just
That's
one of those
awesome.
storylines, right?
Thank you for
Yeah.
shouting him out because I
Yeah,
would have
no,
forgot. Yeah.
it's one of those storylines, and that's what you don't see, right? And I'm sure
Yeah.
there's people we're missing,
Yeah,
you
no, I'm
know.
sure. I mean, like,
I
there's
gotta
Exactly.
watch his stream game.
Right.
I missed his stream
There's
game. I can't wait to watch it.
so many people we probably are
no.
missing.
Congrats
So
to everyone. Like everyone who cut, everyone who made day two, everyone who had a great run. You know, like there are people that this is their first worlds. This is their eighth worlds. Just having a great run. I mean, there's people like Emilio Forbes who was just crushing, and that brings me to there's a couple things that happened at this worlds that I think we should talk about, and I don't want to dwell on them, but there's some
we got to
a
keep
little
this.
bit
We
of
got to keep this
chaos.
one quick.
We're gonna keep this one quick, but a couple things, but I think the craziest thing that happened was the top 16 when it was wrapping up. There was still about half the matches left. One of the LAN cables disconnected, and all the matches disconnected at the same exact time, and they forced them into sudden death.
That's such.
And there were some players, including Emilio, who's talked about this, who were in positions that were pretty much guaranteed wins, and then had to reset and go into a sudden death where they eventually got eliminated. And I mean, there's just it's just unfortunate to see, especially at a World Championships where you expect everything to be perfectly run, where there's no issues that on the game, right? It should be come down to the players themselves playing the game, and whoever wins wins, and not something that was an issue with the actual game itself or the Wi-Fi or something like that. So it's just stuff like that that's a little bit
Yeah.
unfortunate to see.
It's super unfortunate, right? Like as competitors, right? We want them to. I don't want to say care because like I feel like they do kind of care, but we want them to care about this game as much as we care about this game.
Exactly.
So when something like that,
They do. Yeah.
when something like that happens, it's one of those ones where it's like we flew to Japan to play
Right.
this game that you guys just couldn't. I don't want to be rude, but like couldn't care to fix
Yeah.
in a way,
No. Yep.
right? It's just a little unfortunate. And obviously, like we could go on
Yeah.
forever
That
on this
was
topic, so I'm just
right.
gonna kind of shut it
Yeah.
down here. But it's just super unfortunate to see, especially on a world stage.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm sorry to interrupt. A player of Emilio's caliber, where he went what 11-0 in Jersey, then he went to whatever regional he won after that. He was like 25-1 in sets at one point, and to have his run end on that, like I think that was the only thing stopping him, and that's unfair of me to say for Shohei now. And
Well,
like
I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen,
Right.
but to
It's
not have
impossible
him
to tell.
move on to the next round at least,
But that's what's
that's
criminal.
that's what's unfortunate.
That's
And
what's unfortunate.
I just think what we hope as a community is that for next year and for future events that there's no issues like this. There's no something like that that causes a player to lose. It should really be about the two players and their play, and that's it.
he said he's never playing again, and when Emilio says that, I believe it.
And I hope that's not the case because he is obviously one of the greatest players this game has ever seen, and it would be a disservice to the game for him not to play. So I really hope that's not the case, but I really think there needs to be some improvements in the future for sure. So let's start to wrap things up, but just looking forward to 2024. They did announce a few things at the end of the closing ceremony. They announced a new tarot mechanic that they were very unclear
Yep,
about, but
yep.
we will see what that's going to come. But Worlds in Hawaii in 2024, very very interesting. What are you guys' thoughts going into 2024 season? Obviously, we have the first regional starting in a month in Pittsburgh.
Less than a month.
Yeah, so any quick thoughts before we wrap up?
Quick thoughts. I'm gonna keep this super quick. Really, really looking forward to 2024. Hawaii is, it's a destination, So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
very very divided thoughts. I saw, but I'm very excited. I will be at Pittsburgh, so hoping to see a lot of you there. I'm very excited to compete and hopefully get back to Worlds next year, and so I can make a bigger and better run. But yeah, I'm super excited for this next season.
I'm not gonna. I was a wallet warrior this year. I couldn't find a job in the beginning of the year, so I went back to an old job at Jersey Mike's and said, I'm gonna make Pokemon my year this year. And I went to every event but two. Fort Wayne was my grandpa's birthday weekend, and Vancouver was very far and expensive from New York. So I made it to every other event, and I'm not gonna be able to do that this upcoming 2024 season. I'm not gonna be able to go and have as much fun like doing the circuit as I did. Like this was an incredible year for me, and to be sitting here like a competitor and with you guys talking, it's like still surreal to me. So I probably have 2 regionals in me next year. I have Pittsburgh, I have LA. I'm probably gonna book my flights to LA soon. 'Cause
Come
I
to
have family
Canada.
out there. What's up?
Come to Canada. Don't be
Well,
afraid of me, Tommy.
my mother's birthday weekend is Toronto.
Well, there's
So
Vancouver too. There's Vancouver. Too.
Vancouver, I just said how far and expensive it is from New York, so I'm probably not gonna make either of those. Um, I'm gonna if I get invited, it's gonna be from locals, which is really like the GCs. It's gonna be from Pittsburgh, LA, NAIC plus locals if I get
Yeah.
invited. But I said I would never go as a spectator after I qualified. I might go as a spectator just to be a beach bum and not give a crap about the tournament and just like have a blast on the beach. I'm a beach bum. I love the beach. So like going to Hawaii, I've never been there. It would be really cool. Like maybe like I see what friends and family, what cousins want to come with me too, and like try to make a real trip out of it if I want to. But yeah, I wish I was as excited as I was for this 2023 season because I knew I was going all in. So I definitely have some weird feelings going into 2024, knowing I'm not going to be as involved as I was this past season.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's weird. It's definitely a weird feeling for me. Like I don't know how else to describe it.
Well, I mean, I think the great thing about the VGC community is there's so many grassroots tours. There's so many ways to just play the game, and I think we're all super excited to just keep continuing to play the game we love. And so, super excited. I think we're gonna wrap things up here. But thank you again.
What's your outlook for the 2024 season?
Yeah. So I said, yeah. I was saying I'm super excited for Pittsburgh. I'm super excited to get back to Worlds.
How many events are you going to though? I didn't think.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I have no idea. But I think I'll probably focus more on the spring events than I will on the fall. But super excited to keep playing. I'll be a limitless warrior once again, and I'm very excited to keep playing the game we love. So that's gonna be it for us. And, oh yeah.
Shout out everyone who asked any of us for pictures. It's so cool. It is really so cool taking pictures with fans.
I got one more quick
Oh,
one.
go ahead. Go ahead.
One more quick one, guys. As I said, we're doing this in Japan. It's completely different layout and everything like that. But come on, we got a producer on the other end of our end
Oh,
here right now
yeah.
that definitely deserves a
Huge
shout out.
thank
Get
you.
over here.
Get
Get
over
over
here.
here, Gabe.
The Mr. Beanie.
Hey.
Say hi.
How's it going? I'm basically like producing this episode of the Chilling Neigh podcast, which is kind of cool. I'm a huge like nerd when it comes to like gear and camera and stuff. Like, well, you guys can't see, but we can see like the stuff. And when Tom asked me if I was willing to lend you guys like the camera, I was like, yo, I'll produce it.
No, this is an incredible setup. Huge thank you to Beanie. This has been an amazing experience. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. But thank you everyone for listening, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks. But yeah, have a great time, and can't wait to see you guys again. All right, thanks everyone.